Something 10 times the size of Earth is hiding in the darkness beyond Neptune, pulling invisible strings across our solar system. We know it's there because distant worlds are dancing to its gravitational tune, tilting and clustering in ways that should be impossible. We'll journey through the mathematical detective work that revealed this cosmic puppet master. Explore the desperate telescope searches scanning 20,000 square degrees of empty space and uncover why this discovery could rewrite the story of how planets form. If you're ready to hunt for the most elusive world in our solar system, hit that like button and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries. Prepare yourselves. We begin. Music. 4 billion miles from the Sun, something is very wrong with the outer solar system. Out in the Kuiper Belt, where chunks of ice and rock drift in the cosmic deep, 6 massive objects are behaving like cosmic rebels. These aren't your typical space rocks. Each one is bigger than a mountain, some larger than entire states, and they're all doing something that should be impossible. Picture a classroom where 6 students are sitting. Now, imagine walking in to find all 6 desks turned at exactly the same weird angle, all facing the same strange direction. You'd know immediately that something made them move that way. Someone or something arranged them. That's exactly what astronomers found when they studied these distant worlds. Objects like Sedna, Biden, and the mysteriously named 2012 BP 113. Each one follows an orbit so stretched and tilted that it looks like a cosmic egg lying sideways. But here's the kicker. They're all tilted in almost exactly the same direction. The odds of this happening by chance about the same as flipping a coin and getting heads 20 times in a row. We're talking about 1 in 64 chances. That's not coincidence. That's evidence. These objects live so far from the Sun that light takes over 6 hours to reach them. Out there, the Sun looks like just another bright star. There's no heat, no warmth, just the endless cold of deep space. Yet something is controlling their paths with invisible hands. Think of it like a shepherd herding sheep. You can't see the shepherd, but you watch the sheep all moving in formation, all responding to the same invisible commands. The sheep are these distant worlds. The shepherd is something we've never seen. What makes this even stranger is how these objects move. Most things in the solar system orbit the Sun like cars on a racetrack, staying roughly in the same flat plane. But these rebels are tilted up and away from everything else, like they're following rules written by a different cosmic authority. Scientists call this the clustering problem. When you plot these orbits on a map, they all point toward the same region of space. It's as if something massive is out there. Something with enough gravitational muscle to boss around worlds the size of Texas from billions of miles away. For decades, astronomers assumed the outer solar system was mostly empty space with a few scattered ice balls. We thought we had mapped the major players, the 4 gas giants, Pluto, and some cosmic debris. We were wrong. These orbital rebels are messengers from the dark, telling us that our solar system has been hiding a secret for 4.5 billion years. But the mystery is just beginning to unfold. 2 astronomers at Caltech stared at their computer screens and saw the impossible staring back. Mike Brown and Konstantin Badigan weren't looking for a new planet that day in January 2015. They were trying to debunk one. Another team had claimed that a massive world was lurking beyond Neptune, and Brown was determined to prove them wrong. He was, after all, the man who had helped kill Pluto's planet status. He knew how to destroy planetary dreams with cold, hard math. But the numbers wouldn't cooperate. Every calculation pointed to the same shocking conclusion. Something enormous was hiding in the darkness. Think of it like being a detective who discovers footprints at a crime scene. You can't see the person who made them, but the prints tell you everything. How heavy they were, which direction they walked, even what size shoes they wore. Brown and Badigan were cosmic detectives, and the footprints were gravitational. They fed every known orbit from the outer solar system into their computers. Objects like Sedna, with its egg-shaped path that takes 11,000 years to complete. Worlds like 2007 TG 422, which swings so far out that it practically leaves the solar system entirely. Each orbit was a clue. The computer simulations showed something that made their hearts race. If you removed everything beyond Neptune and let the solar system evolve naturally, those rebel objects should scatter randomly across the sky. Their orbits should point in every direction like spokes on a broken wheel. But they don't. They cluster together like iron filings around a hidden magnet. Brown and Badigan tried everything to make the clustering disappear. They adjusted their models. They questioned their data. They ran the simulations thousands of times with different starting conditions. The result was always the same. These distant worlds were being herded by something massive. The math demanded a world at least 10 times heavier than Earth, orbiting somewhere between 200 and 700 times farther from the Sun than we are. That's so distant that it would take this hidden giant between 10,000 and 20,000 years to complete a single orbit. Picture trying to find a black cat in a coal mine at midnight. Now imagine that coal mine is bigger than the entire United States and you're searching with a flashlight. That's the challenge facing astronomers trying to spot Planet 9. Brown and Badigan published their findings with a confidence that shocked the scientific community. They weren't suggesting Planet 9 might exist. They were declaring it must exist. The evidence was written in the orbital language of worlds we could see, pointing toward a cosmic giant we couldn't. But proving something exists and actually finding it are two completely different battles. Imagine trying to control a marble from 3 miles away using only the power of your thoughts. That's essentially what Planet 9 is doing to objects in the outer solar system, except the distances are measured in billions of miles, and the marbles are worlds larger than continents. This invisible puppet master is orchestrating a gravitational dance that spans distances so vast they'd break human comprehension. Gravity is a deceptively gentle force. Right now, you're experiencing the full gravitational pull of an entire planet, Earth, and it's just barely enough to keep your feet on the ground. A gentle jump can overcome it temporarily. Yet, somehow Planet 9 is reaching across interplanetary space to influence worlds with the precision of a cosmic choreographer. The key lies in what scientists call orbital resonance. Picture a parent pushing a child on a swing. Push at the wrong moment and nothing happens. Push at exactly the right moment again and again, and tiny forces build into powerful motion. Planet 9 doesn't need to be close to its targets. It just needs to be patient. Every time one of those distant objects completes its orbit around the Sun, Planet 9 gives it a tiny gravitational nudge. Just a whisper of force, barely perceptible. But over millions of years, those whispers accumulate into commands that reshape entire orbital paths. Consider the object called Sedna. It swings out to 900 times Earth's distance from the Sun, so far that the Sun appears smaller than a pinhead held at arm's length. At that distance, Sedna should be free from any planetary influence. It should wander wherever cosmic chance takes it. Instead, it follows a precise elliptical highway as if it's riding on invisible rails. Planet 9 acts like a gravitational lighthouse, sweeping its influence across the darkness. Objects that venture into its domain get caught in what astronomers call secular resonance, a kind of long-term gravitational relationship that slowly but steadily alters their orbits. The math is both beautiful and terrifying. Planet 9's gravity doesn't need to be strong. It just needs to be persistent. Like water carving the Grand Canyon, tiny forces applied over geological time can move mountains, or in this case, worlds. But here's what makes this truly mind-bending. Planet 9 isn't just controlling these objects randomly. It's organizing them into specific patterns, creating what looks like a cosmic filing system. Objects with similar orbital characteristics get grouped together as if they're responding to the same gravitational filing clerk. This isn't some chaotic force randomly disturbing the outer solar system. This is precision engineering on a scale that dwarfs anything humans have ever attempted. Planet 9 has been playing cosmic billiards for billions of years. and every shot has been calculated with mathematical perfection. The question that keeps astronomers awake at night is simple yet profound. What kind of world possesses this level of gravitational authority? Finding Planet 9 is like searching for a single black grain of rice scattered somewhere across the entire surface of North America. The moment Brown and Biggin published their prediction, observatories around the world began the most ambitious treasure hunt in astronomical history. Teams in Chile, Hawaii, California, and Australia pointed their most powerful telescopes toward the night sky, each hoping to claim the discovery of the century. But Planet 9 had every advantage. It's probably darker than charcoal, reflecting less than 5% of the sunlight that reaches it. The sun, from Planet 9's perspective, appears 27 times dimmer than it does to us. That means Planet 9 receives less than 1,700th of the solar energy that Earth gets. It's essentially a frozen world drifting through permanent twilight. Picture trying to spot a black basketball floating in a swimming pool, but the pool is the size of Texas and you're searching with a pair of binoculars from an airplane. Now make the basketball move in slow motion and you're getting close to the challenge facing astronomers. The search zone covers 20,000 square degrees of sky. To put that in perspective, the full moon covers about half a degree. That means astronomers need to examine an area equivalent to 40,000 full moons, looking for something that might be 1,000,000 times fainter than what your naked eye can see. Modern telescopes can capture incredibly detailed images, but they see the universe one small patch at a time. The Subaru telescope in Hawaii, one of the primary Planet 9 hunters, captures an area about the size of 4 full moons in each photograph. That means it would take 10,000 individual images to cover the entire search zone just once. But here's the cruel twist: planets move. By the time you finish photographing the entire search area, Planet 9 has shifted to a new position. It's like trying to photograph every grain of sand on a beach while someone slowly stirs the sand with a giant stick. The motion is glacially slow. Planet 9 probably moves less than 2 arc minutes per year. That's about 115th the width of the full moon. But when you're dealing with distances measured in billions of miles, even that tiny motion means the planet could be hiding in a completely different part of the sky than where calculations predict. Teams developed new strategies. Instead of looking for Planet 9 directly, they started looking for its motion. They would photograph the same patch of sky multiple times over several months, then use computers to identify anything that moved between images. Stars stay put. Galaxies don't move, but planets do. The computers flagged millions of moving objects. Most turned out to be asteroids, closer to home and much brighter than Planet 9 would appear. Others were cosmic rays hitting the telescope's detector, creating false signals that looked like moving points of light. Each promising candidate required weeks of follow-up observations to confirm or rule out. Teams would watch potential Planet 9 candidates for months, tracking their movements, measuring their brightness, hoping for discovery that would rewrite astronomy textbooks. But the darkness beyond Neptune kept its secrets, and the most elusive world in our solar system remained hidden. 6 worlds billions of miles apart, all telling the same impossible story. When astronomers first noticed that distant objects in the outer solar system were clustering together, they assumed it was a statistical fluke. Space is vast, and coincidences happen. But as more objects were discovered, the pattern became undeniable. These weren't random coincidences. This was evidence of a conspiracy. The smoking gun lies in something called the argument of perihelion. That's the technical term for the point where each object comes closest to the sun during its orbit. Think of it as the bottom of a cosmic roller coaster, the point where each world reaches maximum speed before climbing back into the outer darkness. For 6 major objects beyond Neptune, these closest approach points all cluster within about 60 degrees of each other on the sky. Picture a clock face. If one object reaches its closest point to the sun at 12 o'clock, the others all cluster between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. The odds of this happening randomly are about the same as winning the lottery twice in the same week. But the conspiracy goes deeper. These objects don't just cluster in one direction. They're also tilted away from the main plane of the solar system by similar amounts. Most planets orbit the sun like cars on a flat racetrack, staying within a few degrees of the same level. But these distant rebels are tilted upward by 15 to 30 degrees as if they're all following the same tilted highway into space. The object called Biden provides a perfect example. It's about the size of Pluto, and it takes 550 years to complete one orbit around the sun. At its farthest point, Biden ventures out to nearly 150 times Earth's distance from the sun. That's so far that radio signals would take over 20 hours to reach it. Yet Biden's orbit is precisely aligned with the other conspirators. Its orbital plane, its tilt, its direction of motion, everything matches the pattern predicted by Planet 9's gravitational influence. Then there's 2012 VP 113, discovered by the same team that found Biden. This object follows an even more extreme path, swinging out to over 200 times Earth's distance from the sun. Its orbit takes 4,000 years to complete. Yet, it too follows the same mysterious alignment. The most compelling evidence comes from computer simulations. When astronomers remove Planet 9 from their models and let the solar system evolve naturally, the clustering disappears within a few million years.